Can Russell Westbrook actually help the Denver Nuggets, or is he just more name than game at this point? The Nuggets have already suffered a tough summer that saw them lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Is this yet another step backwards for the former champs? I'm Trevor Lane. Make sure you subscribe right here. Don't forget to turn on notifications as well. So Russell Westbrook finally lands with the Denver Nuggets after ironically getting cut by the Utah Jazz. Teams just can't stop salary dumping Russell Westbrook to Utah. The Lakers did it years ago. The Jazz cut him loose. He landed with the Clippers. Then the Clippers dumped Russell Westbrook on the Utah Jazz, and they've cut him loose as well. Now he's going to land with Denver, where he's going to take over the Reggie Jackson role from last season and be their backup point guard. Now, at one point, Russell Westbrook was the man. He was the MVP of the league. He was the unstoppable triple-double machine. But those days were long ago. This version of Russell Westbrook in a modern NBA that thrives on efficiency, well, he is something of a dinosaur. So let's take a look at what Russ did last season and if he can actually help this Denver team or if this is yet another setback. So Russ, this past season, when you start pulling up the advanced metrics, it's not pretty. Let me warn you, everybody. 27% from three. Ouch. Three-point shooting, such a big part of today's game, and especially from the guard position. Nobody is going to be defending Russell Westbrook behind the three-point line. They're going to encourage him to fire away, which means Denver is going to be dealing with a packed paint whenever Russ is on the floor. But it gets worse. In terms of per shot attempt, according to Cleaning the Glass, Russell Westbrook ranked in the 12th percentile compared to other players at his position. That is awful. Talk about bad efficiency. That's some of the worst at his position in the NBA. In fact, the Clippers were minus 4 points per 100 possessions whenever Russell Westbrook was on the floor, and even minus 2 points per possession in transition when Russell Westbrook was on the floor. Like, that's the area you would expect Russ to thrive, where he can just race down the floor like he's shot out of a cannon. He's still insanely athletic. You expect to see these crazy highlight plays in transition from Russell Westbrook, and even there, he's a net negative in terms of his efficiency. Even with Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Ivica Zubac on the floor together, the projected starting five for the Clippers at one point, we're talking about two former MVPs in that rotation, plus Kawhi, plus Paul George. You've got a ton of talent on the floor there. They were minus 31 per 100 possessions. It's a small sample size. The Clippers very quickly moved Russell Westbrook into the bench rotation, but my goodness, that was awful. I wish I could say it gets better, but he was also careless with the basketball, ranking in the 16th percentile in turnover percentage. So not only is he not shooting well, he doesn't finish well at the rim, doesn't shoot well from three, he's also turning the ball over a lot. And he's only a 69% free throw shooter, which is not nice. Russell Westbrook, not good when it comes to basketball efficiency, and that was a big problem for the Clippers, and a big part of the reason why they're moving on from him. Yes, he can still be an impact player on the boards. Yes, he is still tremendously athletic, but in terms of playing winning basketball, Russell Westbrook just doesn't appear to be the guy who can do that at this point. However, let me say this, Nuggets fans, it's not necessarily all bad, because remember, we're not necessarily answering the question of, is Russell Westbrook still a good basketball player at this point? We're asking the question, is Russell Westbrook better than what the Nuggets had last season? Is he an upgrade over what they previously had? And there we're talking about Reggie Jackson. I know people like to joke, oh my gosh, you've got Russell Westbrook trying to replace Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That's not going to be the case. Russ is not going to be in that role. Yes, the Nuggets took a big blow, losing KCP, but now the question becomes, can Russell Westbrook fill into that backup guard slot? Can he occasionally maybe play alongside Jamal Murray, who provides some three-point shooting there and some floor spacing? That's really the question we're trying to answer. And it's not as bad. It's still not great, but Reggie Jackson was in the 31st percentile last season with the Denver Nuggets in points per shot attempt, which is better than Russell Westbrook, but still not necessarily like he's setting the world on fire or anything like that. He did shoot 36% from three, which is significantly better than Russ, but he was also minus 7.5 points per 100 possessions without Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray on the floor, which, look, most teams are going to have a negative net rating in terms of per 100 possessions whenever their two best players are off the floor. But again, it's not like Reggie Jackson was getting the job done for Denver either. So what Russell Westbrook offers is perhaps the ability to keep the offense somewhat better able to sustain itself without without Jokic or without Jamal Murray on the floor. Between Russ and Reggie Jackson, Russ certainly has a bit more explosiveness to his game, the ability to create his own shot. So maybe there's something there. Maybe you don't always want him shooting that shot, but trying to look at the bright side for the Denver Nuggets and Russell Westbrook can definitely help you out on the glass. So if Jokic is off the floor, he gives you another player that can rebound. He is a fantastic rebounder from the guard position. So is this an upgrade? I tend to lean towards no, and I'm not the biggest Reggie Jackson fan in the world, but Russell Westbrook's efficiency is just so poor in so many areas that it's hard to see him actually helping a team right now. But again, there is that bright side. He is still extremely athletic. He is still able to contribute on the boards. And I think if you were going to give the ball to anybody, whether it be Reggie Jackson or Russell Westbrook, and say, hey, Jamal Murray is out and we need somebody that can go score 20 points for us, Russell Westbrook is probably the better option in that situation. But again, he can shoot you out of games just as easily as he can shoot you into them. So interesting to see how Denver utilizes Russell Westbrook. And I'll tell you what, unfortunately, Russ would be great, or much better anyway, if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was still on the team, because he could go a long way towards masking some of those efficiency issues that Russell Westbrook has. Unfortunately, he's not. But Michael Porter Jr. out there on the floor, plenty of floor spacing still for the Denver Nuggets. Maybe Russ can still cook at high altitude. But everybody, give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you as pessimistic as I am about Russell Westbrook with the Denver Nuggets and how ultimately this is going to work out? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Till next time, see ya and stay safe.